line choice, a topic overlooked by many within the sport of mountain biking. Today I've decided to break down a trail into each and every single little line. The reason for doing so is to try and emphasise my point of how important line choice is, and I'm going to share with you a few secrets and a few key features to picking that line, and so you can get your way down to the bottom as fast as you can. Let's do it. Why don't we start up at the top? Now you might be asking yourself, why start at the top? You know, you're just dropping in. That's where you're wrong. There's actually 3 different ways you could drop in here. So we've got the left line, you've got a line in the middle which is rocks, a bit steeper, and then you've got a line in the very right which is similar to the left line, but it cuts in a bit more straight. So I want you to quickly take a think, let me know in the comments down below what you thought, which line here is faster. If you guessed the right line, you're correct, because it's the right line. The reason that the right line is the fastest, because if you actually come down here and take a look, you can see that the middle line here, if you're coming in through rocks and roots, that's already slowing you down, because you're trying to go over all that and focus on that. If you're coming into here, then you've got a big turn to straighten you up into the trail. Ideally what you want to be doing is you want to take this line here, because it's actually setting you up the best. Because if you look, if you're going to come in, say you're starting back here, you drop in straight away, ideally you want to be dropping in there, because that's then setting you up straight into the trail, instead of coming through some middle line and pushing through. Just slow you down that half a second. The next line that we're going to be focusing on is this tiny little S bend here. You might be thinking to yourself, that doesn't really matter. Well, this is the things that I'm talking about that's being overlooked, and that is potentially slowing you down. So with this S bend, you're actually able to come into it and straight line it, so you're actually missing out that left part of the turn, and then try and move yourself through to the right to straighten up into that next corner. Right, so now the S bend is a thing of the past and it's back there. So now we're focusing on this next corner. This is the corner that I was talking about. So that'll straighten you up for this corner. You want to be staying obviously as left as you can, so you can sort of get into that almost like a natural rut that's been formed. And then with this bit, you're going to start to push over to the right and hop over this rock here. And my reasoning for that is so you actually get straighten up into that bit, instead of being a little bit left and having to turn and brake, because then you'll lose grip, lose speed, straight back into the steep bit. So once you've pushed through that corner and got that rut pretty clean, you're faced with this. You've got a line here on the left and you've got a line here on the right. The right one is steep, wide and full of roots. The one here on the left is steep, narrow, with no roots. My ideal line would be going through the left, but I can show you both. The fastest one is 100% on the left. Although this line on the left, you're going straight down and then into a corner, but before the corner, there's a big compression that is literally straight into the corner. So once you've compressed off that, you're already into the apex of the corner, which is going to slow you down. But then with this right line, you're going straight over the edge of the corner. So what I like to do is, once you've gotten onto this left line, you want to then sort of come up high. It's a bit of camber, quite hard to get. You want to come up high, straight down here, a few roots here, try and avoid that one, then stay as high as you can, missing out that corner completely, and stay right, and then that sets you up good for the next section. Then once you've came out of this section, if you can, try and aim to come down that off camber slope, and then once you've came out of that, you're into this sort of wee dip, wee bit steeper. You want to stick right, and then your bike will naturally lean over to that side and push you into that turn. Now when we come down to this turn here, it's actually a little bit again on the steeper side, but here you've got some horrible roots. It would be pretty easy to catch. You've got a big one there, one there, all coming into that corner, so you're not going to get the best out of that corner. So what I like to do is, once you've come right out of that, you come left out here, so you're going to stick here where that root is, and then you're going to jump a little bit to this off camber slope here. Might sound a bit stupid, but it's not, because there's good grip there. You should in theory be cornering here. That's where I like to put the actual corner. I know it's here, and a lot of people, you can see there's obviously a bit of a rut formed there. So obviously the main corner is here, and then my second corner is here. Push into that. Try to stick left here, you're going to push right into this corner, and then you're actually going to want to try and push left. My reasoning for that is because there's another off camber route here. If you were to hit that there at speed, pushing out that corner, your wheel's just going to slide and spit you over the bars. If you stick with this middle line, you'll be absolutely sweet. Flying through that to this little kicker here, on this you're going to want to try and stick right, and that's because there's a root here. Jump that as hard as you can, stick right, and then push straight into that next corner. Right, so now that we've got the jump and then the corner dialed in, when you come out of the corner, you want to try and push left. So it's a left-hand corner, so it would automatically shoot you into the left. You're going to come in left, you're going to follow this sort of rut, then you're going to move over to the middle line. The reason you're coming in this middle line here is because there's a off-camber route on the left there, another one there. So you're going to come out, push into the middle. Straight after this, there's two sort of roller kind of things, and I like to pump them quite hard. So ideally what you want to be doing is when you come into this middle line, I really unweight the bike and then push right into that to sort of compress out all them roots, and then you almost pop into that next roller, which is ideal. So then you've got the speed, because there's another jump coming up. That there is a jump, so you want to jump to the right of that, because there's some roots here. Be slidey off camber, you don't want to be landing on roots. I landed on a rock last week and bent my pedal. Stick right, and then you're going to then push into the left, because that's the way the corner goes. Push through, around the left, and then straight through to the middle. What I like to do is I like to go push right on that, then miss out this route here, stick to the left, which sets you up nice and straight, because you can see here a big rut's been forming from people trying to turn to get into the steep chute. You're going to stick left and then boom, straight down the steep chute, and that's the end of the trail. Yeah, let's get some full runs on the go. Up in, I thought we'd say that doing the slower lines, they're actually a lot sketchier, so that's why you want to be doing the faster lines. It might be a little bit harder to start with, but once you build up to doing the faster lines, you will see an improvement in your riding and in your speed on that specific trail and any other trails for being able to link up lines. So now we're going to go with slow lines. Yeah, let's drop in. Ooh, tight one there. But yeah, you've got to brake a lot down here with it. Woohoo! Being steep and rooty. But some of the lines, you're just going to have to take anyway, whether you're trying to go fast or not. Oh. Now let's try the fast lines further up from where the trail is. No, I'm not cheating, it's just so I can get clipped in time. Now on to the faster lines. Let's do it. Up that line. One of the corners where I said to go high, I felt I was going too quick, so I actually didn't even notice and ended up going into the lower line in the corner. But what I'd done to make up for that was pedal and pumped a lot more than I normally would. So if you were to get the best lines and pedal and pump, I'd say you'd be on a winner. But I'm assuming it's only a matter of seconds between them. But if you were to implement that into a race, the winners at races are normally second or sometimes even milliseconds apart. So if you were to implement that in a race, you'd be hauling. Ooh, after riding through all this dirt, I need to get home and wash the bike. So if you want to see a good way to wash your bike, click on the screen right now.